Let me tell you the truth. One thing you must understand is that life and culture is not in clothes we wear. Even though our system of code of dressing equally represent what we are coming up. But one thing I must make you understand is that we are speaking for a restoration in culture does not mean that you will stop using white man property. Because you still have a phone, you make phone call.
You are biased.
You still have, wait. Let me make you understand something. If we are speaking against white man and we don't want to use white man something, all of us will come out from Facebook.
Phone is not identity.
Wait.
How you look? No, see.
I know you are talking about my physical appearance.
When you talk, you should listen to because you teach,
yes.
and then one of the other ways to actually teach is to learn.
Yes,
I'm talking to you about identity and culture. Number one means of identifying culture, language, and identity. You can take it from anywhere. When you see a South African on Facebook, before you click the video, you know that these people are South Africans.
So what do you think I should supposed to dress and come here? Be real now.
Okay. What would actually pass the African message?
Okay.
The Africans, most times, were bare-chested. And then most times we wear animal skins. That's why I see this Enugu Fuka guy, Igwe Nkume, or something. He wears polo, but when he goes to occasions, even though that some of those things are even helped by the whites to make for us, but it represents who we are. Is more. I want this video. You are saying so many strong things, and I know how far this message will go when you dress the part. Once you start dressing the part, because I see your videos and you wear face cap and you wear, come on. That is one thing I may give to Maze.
Dibia.
No, Matthias.
Matthias, exactly.
Okay? There is a part you're dressing. I'm telling you, you may not understand it now, but later you say, Yam Baba told me this thing. So that it doesn't blur your message. You know, sometimes you push a narrative, but you ask yourself, why is it not entering? Your identity sometimes will blow your message. It's not meant for you to argue, meant for you to actually, something that you should actually understand. It will help.
The beauty of Renaissance is that we accept, like I told you before, Ibe Neziako.
Yes.
So what you are telling me now is you are showing me the place I need to readjust.
Yes.
And now what we actually make what I'm preaching through that I accept that I am wrong. And then I will have to go back and readdress my dressing system. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's talk about monogamy. You mentioned monogamy as one of the greatest evil. Please, can you say one or two things about that?
The greatest evil in the whole world is one man, one wife. The teaching of monogamy. And this was actually the fruit that was produced from the tree that is planted in our land by the colonialists called Christianity. Before the white man came here, our ancestors built an everlasting eternal marriage family system. That is a place where a woman is entering into your compound and she discover I've entered a place where I will live and I will die. And so they set a corporation. And for us to understand this thing, the first thing we must understand is that in the whole world, there are two types of culture, masculine culture and the feminine culture. The masculine culture is a culture of men, and that culture is built on truth because men take responsibility and then lie have negative consequences. But then the second culture is called the feminine culture. That's the culture of the women. And this culture is built on terrible lies because it is meant to fund business. And so a man who wants to maximize business will tell a lot of lies. And so in Africa, when we have nature, when we have the culture of truth, we built a family unit by which there is cooperation and chronology in our family setting. And so where our ancestors built marriage, there is no love. Love is the opposite of leadership. Love and romance is against discipline. In fact, when somebody tell you that this man is not romantic, it simply means the man is disciplined. So the opposite of discipline is love. The opposite of discipline is love. So where our ancestors established marriage, the marriage was established on the basis of leadership and boundaries. So a man is like a tree. A woman is like a bird that comes to perch under this tree to get shadow, protection to produce children. And so in this account, a woman knows her boundary. We establish marriage in Africa is like a company. that produces children for the purpose of producing children. This is the whole purpose for survival. And so where we build this company, the man is the CEO. And so the wife that is coming in your house is coming in your house as your worker that you are employing. And so we own that in the principle of CEO. For a CEO to have effective service in his company, there must be numerous workers. I come inside here, I see many people who are working for you. If you have only but one worker here, you will struggle to control the person because by natural default, there is no substitute. So in our marriage system, it is built in a system by which the man who is the CEO is planted as a tree, and then women came to perch under the man. And so a woman is like a yam tendrils that is coming out, which does not have any direction or pathways unless the farmer guided it on a bamboo tree. So a man is the bamboo tree, and the woman can only find direction in life when she found herself in the pathways of a man. And this direction of this woman is going to happen when the woman understands my boundary in the house of this man, not entering into the house of a romance or a house of love. And so on account of this, we establish everlasting relationship between a man and a woman. And one is we must understand the basis of polygamy. How did polygamy start? If you come to Oboka today, let's say we have 100 people in Oboka, total number of 100 people. And then we have, by natural default, 60 girls and 40 boys. This is how nature made life. You discover the day that we share land belonging to Oboka. The whole land in Oboka will be given to the 40 boys. And no land will be given to the women. And why is it so? The land is a commitment, an oath, a vow in our hands that we have agreed that we will marry off all these other 60 women in our community who did not participate in land sharing. So your sister comes back to home and asks your father, Daddy, why did you not share me land? He says it's because you are going to marry. So the lady was deprived of the natural community resources because she has been assured of a husband. So a man's participation in land sharing is automatic agreement, automatic commitment that number one, I am going to marry off all the women in the community, and number two, I'm going to ensure that we use this land we shared to produce food for the purpose of growing children. I'm showing you the pathways of our everlasting marriage system. And so once a man takes this land, the man has been given responsibility to marry women in the community. I cannot take community land and then I say a lady who is not taking community land and just leave her stranded. She doesn't have a resources or property. She doesn't have an inheritance. So what then becomes her next basis? Only in the arms of a man. And so when we do that system, automatically there is everlasting peace in our home. So we can have, because what prolongs the life of a man is peace. And what establishes our long relationship is understanding boundaries, not love. I can come here to work for you now. The only thing that will make me and you to have lasting relationship, even as a friend, is when we understand boundary, because that we agree today does not mean that we will not disagree tomorrow. There's something that we talk tomorrow that me and you will literally disagree. And so if I understand that there is disagreement, I will not build love relationship. I will build a boundary relationship.
Yeah, the way you're comparing here to marriage and comparing husband to CEO, marriage is never a merchandise.
Thank you so much. In Africa, marriage is a company and functions exactly like the company of the West man institution, of the white man institution. Then the white man destroyed the marriage and set up deliberate fights between a man and the woman in the name of a partner or a companion. Your wife is not your partner, your wife is your worker.
My wife is my worker. I want you to make me understand that me and my workers, we don't actually come together to actually get new companies. Okay, but me and my wife come together and we bear children. So that's coming together to bear children. What do me and my worker come together to bear?
The purpose of bringing the worker is for the purpose of growing children. Like, let me explain it. Marriage is a company in Africa. The man is the CEO, the woman is the worker, the children is the product. I'm going to be very, very explicit. Like, I understand this thing. I grew up with my grandfather. My grandfather, go and see where my grandfather set his wife. All of them till today, they are still at peace. I'm going to be contextual about it now. When you build your family as a corporation, when you build your family as a family, number one, it produces automatic leadership. But when you keep your wife as a partner or as a companion or as a soulmate, that is the reason why marriage today is full of divorce. You hear AY marriage, divorce after 20-something years. You hear Mackenzie relationship, divorce. You hear Ake marriage, divorce. You hear all these celebrities. Elon Musk, the richest man in the whole world. Bill Gates, the richest man in the whole world, divorce. What is the reason? Pastor Chris Onyakilomi. It's because when you don't follow the principle, the pathways of nature, you can never build something that is everlasting. Building everlasting family starts coming when we build a family of boundary, not a family of love.
Are you saying that a man does not need a companion?
A man doesn't need a companion. A man doesn't need a companion.
Our forefathers married women, and the women that they married are Obidia, Ugodia.
Thank you so much.
Oriakudia, Odoziakudia, Osodieme. And all those things, you don't have such a relationship with a worker. He's a partner.
A man in the olden days called his wife her name. Follow me carefully. When he comes in a home, a man calls the wife by her name. There is nothing like sweetheart. There's not like Wanyinka. Let me.
So where does Ugodia?
Ugodia is a name you can give to a woman. You can call a woman when you are praising her. Like a woman does cook a very beautiful, delicious meal, or a woman does a very something unusual, and you want to praise, or she's even dancing, you want to praise her. You can start saying Obidia, Ugodia, and all of that. But on the principle of CEO, a husband calls the wife by their name, Nkechi, Ngozi, and all of that. And the reason why she calls that name is because it brings sense of ownership. When somebody calls you your name, and then the woman cannot call the man the name, just as the workers in your house in your office cannot call the man by his name. So you start hearing Nani, Onyewem. The reason is because we are trying to establish a psychology of leadership and ownership. But then you bring a woman to your house, and the woman begin to call you baby, sweetheart, honey, soulmate. My dear brother, you have destroyed the principle of you have destroyed everything that makes you to lead. Because when you have your wife as a partner, you now discover that in partnership, there is no leader. Telling a monogamous wife to submit under a man is like telling a director in Army General to submit to another director with the same army rank. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So all teachings given to a woman, which does not include the husband liberty and freedom to marry more wife, already destroys her humility of service and longevity of that family. And then I am going to be a little bit contextual in the danger why I says it is the greatest evil in our society. Before the white man came to Africa, there is no young lady who is not assured of a husband. Getting a husband is not a prayer point. No girl prays. All the girl work on is her character, because she knows that when time of marriage comes, people are going to assess how you live, how your mother live in your father's house to be able to form a home. Even before her breast shape is out, her husband is certain. But today, the greatest evil that came in our society is where we built a society of one man, one wife. We now have thousands of unmarried women. And that is the reason, that is the way that church can be full of women praying for husband, and then prostitution can be established in our land. Do you know if you go to Dubai today, you'll discover a woman cannot wear something that reveal her breast and come out in the streets? Or you cannot kiss a woman outside. It's because they practice the masculine culture like Africans, just like the North practice it. Because you see, people who have Islamic culture have masculine culture. And masculine culture frowns against prostitution. Because we know that with a society who have sexual violations, where our women are violated, we found it difficult to build a unified family. And so they frown at kissing. Do you know that the first time Cristiano Ronaldo entered Saudi Arabia, the dressing code of his wife, they were fined to court because her dressing contradicts the ways of living. So we know that a woman must be shaped into a family, and then we must make sure that no woman is left unmarried. That is why even when a widow dies, we must provide that with another husband. We don't tell the widow to go and commit yourself to the Lord, because you can't commit yourself to the Lord when God doesn't have a penis. The woman needs sexual satisfaction. She needs caring and protection of a man in her life. And so we make available that which we preserve that posterity take that responsibility and thou shalt. So when we want to save our society from immoral defamation,
ọ bụrụ na ị chọrọ igwe anaghị ajụ gị arụ oyi, nwanne jebe na Pine Leaf Estate and Properties Limited.